You're on your own, Uhuru tells ministers. Hot on the heels of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission investigation against several cabinet secretaries, President warns that no one is too powerful or special to escape the purge in renewed anti-graft efforts. That's a front page. And we'd like to hear your views on this. And Prof, I'll start with you. This is not the first time we're hearing this from the president. The more he says it, does it become almost like a rhythm and a cliche? Or do people actually shake on their feet and something happens?
Thank you, Trevor, and my colleagues. I think these statements by President Uhuru Kenyatta have been far too many.
Far too many.
Far too many. And most of us are surprised. He has a job. He was recruited for this job. He applied for the job. He can take action. He doesn't need to tell us so-and-so is threatened, tomorrow you'll do this, tomorrow he's going to take this action. That is not his job. His job is that once he identifies that he has people in his cabinet that have questionable integrity according to the Constitution, he needs to tell them, you can't work with my team, I want you to step aside, or I sack you, and then until your name is cleared. So this threat that is coming from the president is a bit irritating to the Republic, and we must tell our president, because he's our product, he's a public product to all of us. He must act. He doesn't have to threaten this way. I'm sure all of you agree with me that before this kind of information comes and then you hear that some ministers are corrupt, you hear that some governors are corrupt, the president through the National Intelligence Service already knows who is corrupt. He knows who is stealing our money. All he needs to do is to give way for the rule of law to take course. But meanwhile, because of the information he already has, he has the capacity to change his cabinet. I've been calling for change of cabinet, reshuffle of cabinet, choosing new men and women that can steer a country to the next level. He is not doing that, and I think we're getting tired.
Why do you think he's not doing that?
I don't think, I think probably he doesn't just have the oomph to do it. And if he doesn't want to do it, why did he apply for the job? That is what we are asking our president to do.
Is that a fair assessment?
Yes,
there's due process as well. You
yes,
just can't sack
due process, but you know what?
Just based on allegations, there has to be due process.
Trevor, you look at Article 73 of the Constitution. Article 73 of the Constitution, which is the beginning of Chapter 6 of our Constitution, talks about you hold office in public trust. And if you're a public servant and they question your integrity, just questioning your integrity, you can no longer enjoy public trust. What do? You give way. So the president is not supposed to say that these people are guilty. But on suspicion, on some intelligence report that certain people are engaged in certain things that can compromise their integrity, the president is supposed to say, because you no longer inspire public trust, step aside and that public trust is restored through the court of law. That's what the president is supposed to do. And he has executive power to do that. But
the argument will be who determines that you've lost public trust. The people will want you to take them to court and be proven that it's presumed you're innocent until proven guilty.
You see what? There are preliminary cases. He can still be taken. How many people, Trevor, have been taken to court and they still go back after being taken to court, they go back to their offices? How many? You know, even the governors.
And carry on with their duties.
Yeah, they carry on with their duties. And these people also, even they can make the president's work easier. I don't think we can blame the president alone. We can also blame the people who hold these offices in public trust. If you are a governor, if you are a member of parliament, and your name has been, adversely mentioned in such matters as corruption, you have also a duty to protect the Constitution under Article 3. That all of us can protect the Constitution. And when you protect the Constitution, you also step aside. And you step aside because you want to protect the Constitution. And your name is cleared. So responsibility is dual. And unfortunately, the president is not doing his job the way we want him to do, namely that he must take action. But also the members of the public, especially people in his cabinet, are making his life very difficult.
Okay, Teresa, come in. Lots from Prof. I don't know what your take is.
I think it's time for us to call the president's bluff. Like every time, this is what he says. But I think he needs the other institutions to make it work. For example, once he says you're on your own, is it possible that the ODPP office takes action? Then we have the judiciary also responding in this manner. We have had timelines for election matters in this country where we say in 6 months you should have been done with this and judgments given. Is it possible this is the time to say within 3 months hear a corruption matter and get done with it. If we see action being taken, then it will stop being just a statement to make us happy. After all, every Kenyan wants to hear that the president saying you're on your own, you know, like you can be tried or prosecuted or whatever. But if it doesn't happen, then like I said, we need to call out his bluff.
So you reckon there's institutional failure, because then
Yes.
if these cases need to be heard within a particular time and they
Yes.
take too long,
Yes.
sometimes up to the end of the serving terms of the current
Sometimes
people in
even as
office.
Kenyans, we forget. You know, we're like, oh yeah, this matter is still going on, eh? Like, you know, 1 year later. And we know what happens when it takes too long. Then it just misses the point.